Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and up here today. I just thought I'd do a bit of a update, let you know what I've been playing, what I've been watching, what I plan to be doing this week and stuff like that. Um, so really, what I've been playing recently. So I've finished. I was playing the Punisher. I played that the PS2 version of it, and I actually really was enjoying that game. Unfortunately, got to the mission where you have to sort of like scope your way on the gondola, and it really pissed me off because I got to the other end of the map on the gondola, and then somehow it collapsed or something, even though I had made it, and it just pissed me off. So I was like, you know what, I'm done here. So I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I've just got to say, wow, I'm really, really enthralled by this game. You know, it's such a good game. You know, and Sony, I know it's not directly Sony. I can't remember the company that made it. I'm sure it begins with an S. You know, I've just got to say that it is absolutely fucking flies. It is absolutely awesome. You know, I'm always been a fan of like, you know, samurai games, ninjas, ancient China, Japan, the feudal Japan era. You know, I've always been a fan of those sort of games and the universe of it and the history behind it. But I've got to say that this game is just really well done. The world is beautiful. The graphics are amazing. I'm going to do a full review on it at some point anyway, probably when I beat the game. I've just finished Act 1, but I have sort of been taking my time with it, like trying to get stuff as I go along, you know, exploring. And it's nice because I'm playing a game that I'm really enjoying, and, you know, I'm not sort of rushing through it. Whereas when I've been playing other games, you know, linear games and stuff like that, you know, a lot of the time I'm like, I just want to play it and beat it. Whereas with this, you know, I'm taking my time and enjoying it, you know, and it's such a beautiful game. The combat is really well, you know, really good. I haven't delved into any of the multiplayer stuff, but I have asked my friend, you know, when I finished the game, you know, maybe we could try it out, and he said, you know, he's down for doing that. So, but yeah, so that's sort of what I've been playing, and I will do a full review on it soon. So what I've been watched over the past few days, I've got 5 movies here that I've watched, but I've also watched some other stuff that don't have physical. Um, I watched Puppet Master Legacy the other day. I think it's the 9th or 8th film in the series. And I've got to say that is absolutely the worst film I'd ever watched in the Puppet Master series for sure. It didn't even classify as a film. It was just pretty much 70 minutes of you know, clips from previous movies. There was like maybe 10 minutes, if that, of footage that wasn't from the previous movies. I mean, if you've never watched a Puppet Master film then, and you want to see some of the, I guess, best bits, you know, I suppose you can watch that one. But I absolutely, you know, I don't like when TV shows do that. They have the clip shows. But to have a film that is pretty much all just a clip from previous films, it just blew my mind. I'm like, why did they do this, you know? And it's like, it blew my mind, you know. And I just couldn't believe just how they got away with doing that. I really can't believe that, and it really pissed me off because I'm like, really, you know. And do you know what's funny? It's actually technically a direct sequel as well. It's technically canon, which is kind of stupid. Um, I'm going to do a full video once I've watched all 12 Puppet Master movies, ranking the movies, and I can guarantee you, as it stands at the moment, that will be at the bottom. And you know, the Puppet Master movies aren't masterpieces. You know what you're getting yourself into, but they definitely got deteriorated over time. The first one I enjoyed. The second one, much of the same, but again, I still enjoyed it. The third one, I wasn't. You know, it was a bit of a step down in the puppet side of things, but I did like how they went with it. And then afterwards, it just went. I thought the one that I watched before Legacy, I can't remember what it was called. The one before Legacy, Retro Puppet Master. That's it. I thought that one was the worst one, but then I watched Legacy, and I'm like, I wouldn't even know if I classify it as a film in the series. You know, Retro Puppet Master was terrible because there was literally no violence at all in it. Not that a movie has to be violent for me to enjoy it, but when you've got Puppet Master, a movie about killer murderous puppets essentially, and there's no blood or violence in it, you're kind of defeating the purpose. I don't know. But so these are the ones that I have talked about some of these, but I haven't shown them. The Life and Death of Bobby Z. Honestly, Paul Walker, I liked him as an actor. Unfortunately, I've got to say this movie was just not that great. It wasn't the worst film I'd ever watched, but like I said, I already talked about this, how I felt like this movie was it's like they were trying to make it into like an action drama film, but then there's comedic elements and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what were they going for here? A comedy action film or just a full-on action film with comedic elements? I don't know. It's like they couldn't even figure that one out. It had some decent, fight scenes here and there and some decent like action scenes, but it wasn't an amazing film. But it wasn't the worst film I'd ever watched. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Brimstone, and I'm going to do a full movie review on this one. Maybe I think now that I've talked about it, maybe I don't need to. But this movie was absolutely fantastic. Not your typical Western. It's more like a drama thriller set in Western period. It seems like Western is almost a subgenre in this one. But Guy Pearce, Dakota Fanning, of course. Guy Pearce plays an amazing villainous character in this one. It's all about this preacher that's trying to go after this woman that can't talk, and then it goes backwards in time and sort of explains who he is and what the story was. But the third act in the movie is where the movie gets really dark, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe it went this far. One thing that I will say is, I'm sorry if this is a spoiler, so spoiler alert, but there's a part in the film where she basically cuts his throat, and you see him like lying there on the floor in a pool of blood, and she basically moves his body and then burns the room down before running away. And then he comes back somehow in the future. I don't understand that. And it makes me feel like this movie, maybe it bordered on horror in some sense, that he's meant to be some supernatural force. I don't know. It's one of them that sort of makes you think a little bit. It's just a stupid little thing. Just one little scene that sort of almost ruins the movie. But other than that, absolutely fantastic movie. I couldn't believe just how far this movie went, and I enjoyed it. And Grave Encounters 2, I'm still pissed off that this doesn't have subtitles, but honestly, I enjoyed this one, but I think the first one I prefer a little bit more. This one does actually have a few more special features, not a ton, but more than the first one, so, and I do like that cover a little bit more than the first one. But essentially, it's much of the same thing, but at the same time, it's basically about this guy who's, it almost starts off like, it's still found footage, but then it's about this guy who, talks about movies, making his own movies, and he's got all these friends, and then he basically looks into the first Grave Encounters and goes, is it an actual movie or was it real? One of those things, much like Human Centipede 2, so... And then they basically try to investigate, and find out that it was real, and the usual thing plays out. And it's pretty much then once they get into the mental hospital, it's much of the same. I feel like this one, like for about the first half of the movie, it's just, it doesn't feel that great. There's a few little jump scares here and there, but the violence in this one is amped up a lot. There's a lot of gore in this one, which really surprised me, because the first one had some gore, but it weren't like the main thing. It was like more paranormal, style thing, whereas this one has a lot of gore in it, and I enjoy it, but I still think the first one is a bit better. But I tend to watch the movies like one, then watch the second one, much like Kill Bill, because in a way this is a direct sequel, but it really links into the first film, so you do need to watch the first film. But I don't hate it, but I just feel like this one, it does get a little bit ridiculous, especially at the ending. Goes really too far, and it goes into like almost real life dramatic camera pacing rather than found footage style. It's just really weird, but I mean, I don't hate it. So then I also watched Battle of the Damned with Dolph Lundgren. It's just crazy to think, Dolph Lundgren, recognisable as obviously Ivan Drago, one of the most iconic movie villains, because he is a villain, characters, to doing crap like this. This movie it wasn't the worst movie I'd ever watched, don't get me wrong, but it just was, it was pretty bad. The acting isn't great. It's somewhat cheesy. It is pretty cool. The action scenes aren't terrible. The zombies, there's not a lot of violence in this one. There is violence, but it's not as graphical as, say, like The Walking Dead or something like that, which is very graphic. A lot of the stuff is hidden. But I do like one thing that's pretty cool is there's robots in this film. So if you like robots and zombies, give it a try. But I don't think it's that great. It's one of them movies you'll watch and just sort of go, okay, I see what they were going for here, but don't take it too seriously. It's very formulaic. So, and then last night I watched Battle Royale, and this is the steelbook I've had for years. Not the greatest condition, unfortunately. And it comes with this little film cell. It's meant to come with a poster, but it never did. But it does have this little some liner notes in there, and a little map from the movie. It says on here a cross between A Clockwork Orange and Lord of the Flies. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch both of those films, and then it's been a while since I've watched Clockwork Orange, and same with Lord of the Flies. I remember watching that in school. But this movie was awesome. Of course, Battle Royale nowadays is well known as, video games, of course, Fortnite, Call of Duty, DayZ, H1Z1, all of that. But and obviously this isn't the first Battle Royale film, but it's the first sort of film that sort of made Battle Royale into like an actual thing. Of course, it's all based on the classic Most Dangerous Game. That was one of the first movies that sort of dealt with the whole humans hunting humans type thing. But if you played a Battle Royale game, definitely check out this movie, because it's pretty much the same thing, but what made this movie very controversial, I think it's Takeshi Miike. It's either Takeshi Kintaro or Takeshi, I want to say it's Takeshi Kintaro, but it definitely had, I'm sure it's Takeshi Kintaro. Beat Takeshi. And he is in the film. But it's basically about these like teenage kids, like 15-year-old kids, who basically they're in this world where they have this like school kids, essentially, basically 40 of them get took to this island, and they have to basically fight for survival. The last one living wins and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it, and of course this version has a ton of special features, but this has had an Arrow Blu-ray release, and so it's the second one. So I'm probably going to upgrade to the Arrow version, because I feel like this is a movie I could definitely see myself watching again in the future. But I might keep this steelbook, because it's a pretty cool steelbook, although it is pretty dirty. So I do feel like when I'm touching this, I'm like, oh, I have to wash my hands afterwards. But that movie was a lot of fun. Obviously, it's very controversial, because obviously it was teenage kids going around killing each other, 15, 14-year-old kids. I don't know if the actual actors were that age or they were older. I don't know. But it's a very good movie, and it's got a ton of versions, so like I said, I will upgrade to the Arrow Blu-ray on that one, so that is going to be on my wish list for an upgrade. I know it's probably on the Arrow, and I think it's also on Shudder as well. I'm sure it's on Shudder. So maybe I'll check out the second one through Shudder or Arrow, depending on when I want to watch it. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Violent, gory, a bit over the top at times, especially the scene when the girl tries to poison the boy in the lighthouse, and she ends up poisoning another girl, and they're just going around blasting each other. And it's like, wow, Jesus, part of that sort of that era, where Japan, especially Japan, had a bunch of these Beat Takeshi movies, Ichi the Killer, Dead or Alive, you know, those sort of type of movies, you know, where they're really over the top and gory and violent. You know, I love those sort of movies, you know. And let me know in the comments below, what is your favourite Japanese movie or favourite non-English speaking language movie, so foreign movie, of course. I know you could say, well, I'm British, but Americans technically foreign movies to me. If they speak English, to me, it's, you know, it's an English movie, you know, it's not foreign. So, but yeah, this is awesome, and it's got a ton of special features on here, making of, press conferences, the alternate versions, alternate trailers, rehearsals, documentaries, the alternate ending, additional footage, so stuff like that. So this one's 117 minutes long. I think it's got about 5 or 10 more minutes more than the original version had. And this came out in 90. This version was the 2002 one, but I'm sure the original movie came out either in the 90s or the late 80s. I could be wrong. So that's sort of what I've been watching recently. Some of the movies. I've still been watching Friends. I'm now on season 7, rewatching. I've also, tonight I'm going to watch White Chick. You know, I'm in the mood to watch something a bit stupid. Oh, I also watched Rush Hour 2 the other day. That was one that I didn't, that I also watched as well. That wasn't through, you know, DVD or something. Although I'm kind of annoyed because the first 2 Rush Hour movies are on both Netflix and Amazon Prime. I just watched them on Amazon Prime. But the third one isn't on either. And it's even got a TV show as well, which, you know, I might have to hunt that down. I want to say that I actually do have the third movie somewhere. I'm sure I have the third one on DVD somewhere. If not, I can get one on Blu-ray or eBay for like £3, so I'll probably just buy that and watch it that way. But yeah, so that's what I've been watching recently and playing. This week, I'm not too sure. I have got a few things coming on this week, but I am going out on Thursday. And guys, this will come as a massive surprise to you guys, but I've actually really started to enjoy reading lately. I've been actually reading a book on my phone using Kindle Unlimited, about a book about books, 1001 books you must read. But I've actually, now reading them, it sort of gives me a bit of an idea of what books to check out. So again, I had a little look on eBay, and they actually do some, like, you know, like the DVD bundle books, packages that I've got, the random mystery boxes. So I'm actually going to order a random book box from eBay. I think they're like 20 quid, and you get 40 to 50 books, all fiction. So I'm going to order some. Maybe I might order my son one as well for some kid books, because he likes reading as well. And I'm also going to go into town on Thursday, so I might do a little bit of book hunting, maybe some more, pick up some DVDs and stuff. But I do want to try and save some money, because I'm going away next Friday, not this Friday coming, the following week. I'm going down to my dad's. I was meant to go last month, but because obviously there was a lot of issues with the railway and stuff like that, my friend said, you know, if you wait till this month, I can pick you up. And, you know, so I'm going to go down with him, and we're going to go to the beach on the weekend as well, and, you know, have a day out. So maybe I'll do a vlog when I go to the beach. I was meant to do one last time we went, but I never got around to doing it, so I might do it this time. It's been a while since we did one of these outdoor vlogs. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what movies have you been watching recently? Have you seen any of these movies? Am I going to keep any of these? Out of the ones that, well, this one isn't mine, this is my friend, so I'll be taking it back down to him. But if I was to say that I'm going to keep, I probably would keep, I'm debating on whether to keep Grave Encounters 2. I might keep it. Brimstone, I feel like I could upgrade it, because I really enjoyed it, but I don't see myself rewatching it anytime soon. But I really enjoyed it. Battle Royale, I'm probably going to keep this one. If anyone's interested in it, then by all means let me know. Because, you know, like I said, I'm probably going to upgrade it. And Bobby Z, I'll probably get rid of this one. Just because I don't see myself rewatching it, and there's only one special feature. So, yeah. So, and of course, let me know what in the comments below. Do you guys read? What do you read? What's your favourite genre of book? I want to try and get some. I'm hoping that when I do this order, that I get some horror books and stuff. I'm trying to get into like classics and the original classics, you know. So I'm thinking we're also going to hopefully soon be getting a new glass cabinet or something for downstairs, so we can put our pop figures in, and then I'll have that whole bookcase downstairs to start building a book collection. So yeah, I have added a bunch of more DVDs and Blu-ray sets into my wish list, so we'll see. But anyway, guys, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and comment below. Like I said, let me know if you've seen any of these movies. What's your favourite genre do you read? And of course, guys, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to go and put dinner in now. I think it's going to have some chicken dippers and chips or something. And then, of course, guys, subscribe if you... follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.